I'm Anna. I've grown up learning finance since I was 19 and invested into tech startups. But when it comes to Web3, it's very confusing. Everyone seems to have a different opinion on what it is. Over the years, there is a lot of hype, rug pulls, bad actors, and good players. But I've always wondered what is behind the headlines. I started to learn about Web3 and realized it's a term coined by Gavin Wood in 2014 to describe a vision of the next internet. Instead of a web monopolized by large technology companies, Web3 is a fair and decentralized internet. It puts power in the hands of individuals rather than corporations, where users control their own data and identity. In recent years, the term Web3 has come to encompass an ecosystem of technologies from blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and smart contracts to applications like DeFi, gaming, and the Metaverse. As I looked around Asia, I realized that Web3 is more than a vision. Countries in Asia are already building for a Web3 future, each in their own unique way. Web 1 and 2 have already changed the way we live, work, and play. What happens when the next evolution is powered by a host of new values and technologies? I'm on a journey to learn from the builders in real life.
Will you listen to my heart? A million miles, we're apart. When I'm looking for a start, I close my eyes.
I've been to Taiwan 3 to 4 times, and I know that they are a giant in semiconductor manufacturing. I also know that they have a lot of good engineers and very good developers for the blockchain space. I want to learn more about the technologies that power Web3 and the Metaverse, and the best place to start is with the father of blockchain in Taiwan.
现在很流行的字就是 researchify 跟 workify， 因为 DeFi 跟 CeFi 最近都爆掉，所以我现在开什么课啊，就什么就会爆掉。因为上学期因为 DeFi 爆掉，这学期就要开 CeFi。好，那这学期开 Decentralized Finance 啊，好，就没想到 FTX 就爆掉。
You were from Stanford and you had an illustrious career in Google. Why did you decide to come back to Taiwan to teach?
When I was working at Google, I mainly focused on technology. I was fascinated by social computing system. Each time when we press the like button or when we watch this YouTube video, we are contributing data to Google or Facebook. They are the main beneficiary. But the web shouldn't be so centralized. Just like finance shouldn't be so centralized to Wall Street. This drew my interest into blockchain because blockchain is not just technology. It has the governance aspect, the financial aspect as well. With these three things combined, finally we have enough weapon to go up against the big tech and induce good changes and paradigm shifts to the world.
But in the world where we are talking about decentralization, a lot of these are actually developed in a very centralized infrastructure. Do you think that's an irony?
Decentralized finance has encountered some big fiascos. CeFi has problems too. We are overregulated today. AML, the anti-money laundering, KYC, know your customers. Those things, it actually introduce huge financial inequalities. So many people are underbanked or unbanked. Long-term perspective, I truly believe CeFi and DeFi will have hybrid form. The reason is the governments, by definition, today is centralized. We have a Singaporean government, we have a Taiwan government. They won't tolerate this DeFi world to go on its own pace forever. So certainly they will want to exert some regulation over DeFi. If the DeFi world is always controlled by those nothing to lose young people, do you think the world will definitely get better? It's true that when we are more decentralized, ideally we may have more check and balance. But from the past few years of history, it may not be true.
Yeah.
So I think it goes back to this check and balance thing in a very complex ecosystem. People adapt to each other. You cannot use the same rule for too long in this modern world. The regulation and the compliance measure need to be evolving.
我觉得很重要哈，就是在 post FTX 的时候，我们应该讨论这个 justice in finance. Justice in finance is very difficult in this crypto land. 所以 the burden on your shoulder is very heavy.
You have a lot of ideas about blockchain and what good it can do, right? But do you think that students who take your class, they're just there to make money and to, maybe probably get rich?
I always suggest students to go change the world. And later on, they convince me that they are part of the world. So they want to change themselves first. They want to get rich first. Their argument is by changing themselves to become rich. That's indirectly changing the world as well. Because who control the resource in this society? I think typically the wealthy and the old people, the young people couldn't even afford buying a house in Taipei. In Taiwan, if you are younger than 20 years old, you cannot even open a bank account.
Oh, really?
Here.
Oh.
Yeah, they are not treated as adults in this country. And the only thing they can do is go into the crypto world, to the blockchain world, where they can play and they can be treated fairly.
重点是说，你要到觉得你该得的啊，还是要好好念书，知道下次的牛市。
Do you think that blockchain will become the top industry in Taiwan, just like semiconductor?
I think so, because many people call 2020 and 2021 the golden 2 years of Taiwan. Because, in late 2019, there was a PC slowdown. What came to rescue is COVID-19. There was a big revenue from all over the world. And now our government has been asking, how can we extend this golden 2 years? And I cannot see any other solution than Web3 and crypto.
在隔天发现它跌到3块钱之后，还是对啊，差不多3块吧，好像3块5，
有到2块，然后回到7块，然后又回到3块。对，那时候买鞋子手拉拿在里面的，但是就一点点的，就剩下一些渣手拉拿渣在里面，然后大部分都在币安做，然后就看到跌到18的时候，就把所有的 FTT 卖掉。那时候前面是在可能是30几块、50几块、60几块买的。
哦，Hello，
Hello, I'm Anna. You guys are the blockchain buddies.
Yeah.
Why are you guys interested in blockchain?
区块链相关的研究或是开发这样的工作，因为这里面的机会真的是太多了。我有听过，就是我们几个学长啊，有人去了 TSMC， 就是半导体事业去发现说，原来去 TSMC 是垫底的。就是有这样的现象，进去要爬很多段。
我觉得这个东西就很有趣，每分每秒都在动，而且它就是跟全世界是一起联动。在2021年牛市的时候赚蛮多的，就说哎呦，竟然比我做股票那个什么才赚几千块还多很多。
我家人就是在我第一次就赚了，在2017年那时候赚了第一笔钱，然后他就说，你怎么去贩毒这样子？然后你怎么从那个银行账户里这么多钱出来？你就重新招来？我就说没有啊，这个是 blockchain， 没有在贩毒，没有在去做一些违法的勾当。你看这都是从那个台湾的银行领出来的钱，然后我就给他了一张信用卡，然后说，这张以后给你，然后他就没有讲话，说很好。
你继续说，你太努力。
魔法小卡卡，
对，
最有用，万能的
blockchain magic。
还有一点需要提的是，我们不会把 Bitcoin 跟 blockchain 当作同一回事来看，但是经由一次的事件，那民众当然比较传统的人，他们会对于我们就是更多的误解，但是我觉得对于一些比较有智慧的人，他们会慢慢区别出，在这个领域当中有哪一些是真的新的技术，是我们可以持续发展的？那有哪一些 scam 是我们要避开的？
你觉得你可以信任吗 ？After the FTX，
FTS 是发生在 Decentralized Finance 上面的问题，会计公司他没有公开他们的这些账本，就是他们怎么审计的，这些就是它一样是中心化的问题，但是在区块链上其实没有这样的问题。就是如果我们相信1+1=2的话，我们就应该相信 blockchain， 我们要 peer to peer， 不是 not peer to the centralized exchange。
Most people in the Web3, they believe in having decentralization. It's safe, it's secure. But the issue is trust in the ecosystem now is at all-time low because of all the big companies that have gone bankrupt, all the fraud that has been happening. So I think without trust, we cannot move forward. And I believe that now is the perfect time for all of us to actually take a step back and ask ourselves where we are going with this technology and learn from all the blow-ups and all the mistakes that have happened to really find out how we can improve ourselves, whether it's as a builder, as a consumer, or even as an investor.
BTQ builds post-quantum software and semiconductors to future-proof blockchain. We're a first mover in this space. We want Web3 to be secure long-term.
Blockchain is always known to be pretty secure. Why does it need to upgrade the security?
Quantum computing is the next generation in computing. They operate much differently from existing computers, and they will be exponentially faster, and that threatens internet security, cryptography that we use on the internet. Blockchain uses public key cryptography, which was introduced 40 years ago, and what's being demonstrated is that the signature schemes within blockchains are vulnerable to quantum attacks, which could break into wallets and access funds and so forth.
How far away are we from a quantum threat?
To a certain extent, quantum is already a threat. Data out there today could essentially be harvested, even encrypted data, and that data could just be decrypted when someone builds a large universal quantum computer. So that's why there's urgency to secure blockchains or other critical infrastructure with post-quantum cryptography now. What's exciting is that these post-quantum algorithms are vastly different than what we're using today. That has implications in hardware. So we're also building post-quantum semiconductor technology at BTQ, partnership with eTree, the government institute here in Taiwan.
I understand that eTree has a very significant role to play in Taiwan's economy. Can you share with me some of the innovation that eTree is implementing in the era of Web 3.0?
Pure software would not be the forte for Taiwan industry, and therefore that we would have to combine with the different hardware and software. We want to focus on whole application. I'm using the term eco-chain, ecosystem plus supply chain, be a key player in the industry eco-chain.
Do you think that it's overly ambitious?
I think that it's good to be overly ambitious. Having these type of vision going forward would be beneficial. We definitely need more challenges for our young people to conquer. We need more younger people's involvement in industries outside of semiconductor to come out and to be innovative. Taiwan is too small a country to drive the whole mega trends of the whole world. But at the end of the day, if you have technology or solution that are irreplaceable, you can be a supplier or provider to the whole world.
迎大家踊跃的参与我们这次的活动。
We really like Touted because of the art and community.
It's a good way to collect digital assets like arts.
我主要就是买一些 blue chips， 一是投资赚钱，二是喜欢这些东西吧。
If you go on the street, maybe only 2% people know about Web3 and NFT. So I think the people who know about this, they have a strong connection.
It's like, yes, you bought it, I bought it, I know that you bought it, and everyone can get together because of this. I think it's an amazing experience.
I don't really understand NFTs. It's very strange. You hear of projects that didn't materialize. You hear of people running away with the money or disappearing. But people were trading it like crazy. Friends were telling me that to even get into the whitelist, you need to do funny things like sing or do videos of yourself. So to me, is that really the purpose of NFTs? Is that really the real-life applicable use cases?
Hello， 大家晚上好。那我们今天呢，除了我们要玩我们说好要玩的 Sandbox， 那这是一张新的地图哦，所以我们就边解这个地图，然后边跟大家更新一下我们接下来要做的事情是什么。好，那我们就开始今天的游戏吧。
Web3 revolution will start with gaming industry. That's why we built Loot Exchange.
This is a very interesting company. Why do you create this exchange?
We call Loot Exchange because loot represents the items that you get in gaming. Our vision is to make virtual asset real. By making virtual asset real, you have to record its ownership onto the blockchain. And the second step is you wanted to provide a platform that let people know they can freely transfer their digital asset, freely trade their in-game items.
And you started before the whole NFT becomes a craze, right?
It's back in 2018. I discovered a project called CryptoKitties. So that's when I know the concept of digital collectibles. And you can really build a game on blockchain, which is really, really exciting. So both me and co-founder, we seems to be the craziest two person in the working place because all we talk about is the digital ownership or NFTs, Metaverse, but people doesn't heard that words before. So it's very hard for us to find a partnership and client or users. It took a lot of time to educate the market.
What is the adoption rate of NFTs in Taiwan?
I feel like everyone has already heard of NFTs since it's have a lot of exposure on news and talk shows. And a lot of like KOLs and like pop stars are like mentioning NFTs. But I think it's only a small group of people really buy and sell NFTs.
Do you think it will grow?
Yes, I think it will definitely grow.
先看一下这一张新的地图，看到有武器的，所以是知道这是有怪可以打的。对，看这个怪哦，好，对，它是会攻击人的。这个 Sandbox 它其实不只是在它的 Alpha Season 才可以玩，其实它平常也会偶尔就会开一些新的地图，所以大家如果有空喜欢 Sandbox 这款游戏的，还是可以有事没事就上来看一下最近有没有什么新的游戏可以玩。
我们做这个，我也是就是想要培养一些老忠实的玩家，然后可以在之后这个产业更蓬勃发展的时候，就是带领这一批人，然后可以是这个产业的先驱。
从平台方的角度来说，其实我们也是希望去汇聚更多的 gamer。 希望可以跟这些玩家们分享我们在玩游戏的过程、玩游戏的喜悦跟玩游戏的攻略。对，这也是我们希望对自己的期许啊，就是希望让我们是真正一个 gamers community 这种方向，对，在经营。
NFTs have quite a bad reputation currently. How do you ensure that you don't fall into that trap?
The first rule is no scam projects on Lutex. So we put a lot of resource to have a grading system internally. You have to be a real person, not an anonymous project. This is the first and most easy to tell if a project is legit or not. And second one is game must have a beta version for people to test on it. We will actually believe that you are a real team and doing real stuff.
How do you think the Web3 is going to change some of the business models of today?
Blockchain is a new technology, and we do not expect the new technology will change the society overnight. We need more time to build a real good application that include NFT utilities in it. I think in the future, there will be different type of virtual assets. Like a piece of code could be a virtual asset, and the digital art, digital creation, a lot of digital asset could be easily transferred and traded, very transparent compared to before. If you are a creator, you can earn royalty fees from every transaction in the secondary market.
Our song began as a blockchain research project.
Sleep kinda feeling like dying lately. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. If the good Lord decide to take me, I don't give a, don't try to wake me
We were focused on finding real use case utility that could really benefit music creators, music companies, and artists. We were one of the first mobile music NFT platforms in the world.
And how different are you from other NFT platforms?
Extremely. So first of all, most NFT platforms today are a marketplace where people can come together to trade and speculate. But we're actually a platform where people can come together and make music. Say I sell you a beat and you download the beat for $5 and you remix it or you create a song over it.
I woke up early morning, happy vibe. When I heard this beat, I felt it with a happy mind.
And then you upload it back, and then it's attributed on the blockchain. And so if this song goes and becomes a Billboard #1 song, everybody that was involved in it gets paid.
Okay.
And so it's a co-creation community.
Remix 的玩法就是我留了一段 verse， 大家自由发挥 ，have fun with it, do whatever you want with it.
In your platform, anyone can be an artist, right? Everyone's a publisher. But do you think by democratizing this access, it actually devalues the art form?
So I don't think so, because I think the way we look at disciplines from a traditional perspective is exactly what it is. It's a traditional way of looking at it. The music industry or music labels sometimes move like dinosaurs. For the last 20 years, right, all the disruption has only happened on the demand side. So whether it's Spotify, social media, YouTube, it's all on the demand side to the end consumer, but the supply side has been owned by labels, right? And primarily just, a handful of labels that control all of the creation. So I think democratizing anything, yes. Does it lower the bar? Yes, it's meant to do that. We have to sometimes lower that entry barrier to let people have a chance. In the same way, Twitter has turned everyone into some sort of like a poet. Philosopher, right? YouTube has turned everyone into their own like broadcaster. We're just making something that wasn't accessible to anyone before accessible. And what they do with it is something that we have to learn, and then we build for them.
Do you think it will become the future of record label?
Everyone doing this will think that it is.
Okay.
But I think very soon record companies are going to have to like move away from just selling music to selling music-related experiences. So the way we interact with fans, the way we monetize audio content, to the way we monetize experiences, that's how it's going to change.
各位市民朋友，大家好，我是台北市长柯文哲。台北市将于今年正式启动 Metaverse 台北市元宇宙，与市民朋友并肩起航，一同打造领先全台元宇宙都市，共创智慧乐活的未来，让台湾成为元宇宙世界最不可或缺的重要成员。
你可以分享一下台北元宇宙的概念吗？
元宇宙是一个非常新的概念，在这么新的概念跟技术应用，其实台北市没有相关的经验。这个元宇宙白皮书就发挥了非常重要的功能，就是让我们大家有一个共同的指引的方向。基本上，我们必须要在原来数位转型的框架里面来找到一些应用。让科技应用跟民众的需求，还有政府的政策的发展，三者去达到一个平衡。
那台北的民众可以接受这样的发展吗？
其实不容易哈。即使台北市的民众，他在整个生活的习惯，还有他自己的核心能力上面，科技接受的偏好度上面，都有极高的接受度。但是所有的科技应用的时候，如果不是建立在解决那个民众的痛点上面，那民众不容易有感，那甚至会有一个数位落差产生的一个副作用。
那你们有什么实际的策略实行这个计划？
在元宇宙这个新的场域里面，如果我们认为这个科技应用会改变我们的社会，我们必须要把一个整体的配套环境建立起来的时候，法规绝对是重要的一个部分。它需要重新再框架过，就是说它必须要有一个合适的法规跟政府之间的监管机制的介入，然后才能来产生健康的元宇宙。
那如果在元宇宙市民做不到的活动，你们政府会节制吗？
在元宇宙的环境里面，当我们个人的那个 avatar 在我们的虚拟世界里面被骚扰，甚至被攻击，它算不算在犯法？那这个网络上面的分身是不是算跟我本人有一样的等同性？所以它可以受到一样的法律的保护？那还是说它必须要建立另外一个法律跟规范来保护你的分身？因为把人的身份投射到虚拟世界去，把资产投射到虚拟世界去，它所产生的这种线上线下融合的概念，它已经不是整合，它是融合的概念，所以它会创造出来更多法律上以前没有去注意到，也没有办法规范或是想象到的生态。我们必须要邀集更好的法律专家或是技术专家来针对这个议题，看看怎么去处理新的法案框架来保护跟避免这样的风险。所以这个部分一直以来都是我们觉得接下来在整个所谓的基础建设，法规就是很重要的一环。
今天想要特别为您介绍的是我们跟马祖观光局合作的一个智慧观光的系统。蓝眼泪。我们把这样子的一个奇幻美景，结合马祖的一个传说故事，然后把它转化成一个凄美的爱情故事。我们的这个同学呢，他是模拟进入北海坑道这样子的一个景点哈，像划船一样划到这个坑道里面。随着它的船桨的出发，就会看到有这个阵阵的蓝色的这个光芒，
很好玩。
对，等一下也可以来体验一下。
你先坐。
好的。
好，然后你看船的下方有2个桨，对。
抓到了，那你就可以两边一起轮流滑。
我要撞到东西。
不会不会，你很安全，尽情的滑，这就是虚拟实境的好处。作为全国第一所元宇宙的研发中心，我们有责任，而且也很有企图心，希望可以从产官学研各方面，让我们的学生都可以透过 XR 的相关技术跟元宇宙去进行接轨。
元宇宙是一个相当新的观念。教授，你觉得台湾的年轻人会在元宇宙的这个行业发展吗？
我想，就我对 Z 世代的了解啊，其实他们对这种科技接受的模式是相对来讲非常的高的。那他们在资通讯这一块很早就有所涉猎跟接触，所以他们其实很自然而然的就融入在这整个的网络啊，还有这个社交的环境里面。学习的过程中，就让他们了解到，我们可能不见得只能作为一个元宇宙的使用者或消费者。其实我们可以更进一步做一些，比如说创意内容的产出，或者是呢，你可以做一个元宇宙的规划者，甚至呢，你运用像虚拟货币 NFT 在元宇宙里面赚钱。那我想这个方方面面都会促使他们更希望能够进入这样子的产业，为这样子的一个产业的发展呢有更好的一个前景。
那教授在学校里面哪一个元宇宙课程最受欢迎呢？
目前他们最有兴趣的就是这个虚拟人 virtual 的角色的部分，从前端的一些角色的发想啊，然后到角色的设定，还有这个角色相关的一些动态的捕捉的活动，跟他们后面的行销哈，他们都非常非常的有兴趣。那我们也很希望在这个部分呢，可以让学生可以提早接触，然后呢也进入这个新兴的一个职业的一个探索。
安娜，待会的话可能需要请你帮我抓那个位置上。这个是一个由20个镜头，就是相机镜头去所组成的一个环绕180度的虚拟人物器材。人可以对齐这个黑色的线，然后看着我这边，3、2、1，开始慢慢描绘出来。Yeah， 长这样。我们可以就是180度的。
Oh no, that's scary 。
它非常真实，对。我们通常也可以透过3D 的一个软体修图之后，做成你专属的 NFT， 或者是你可以装饰一些3D 的模型，然后变成猫儿啊之类独特的一个角色。对，
拿着熊猫可以吗？
熊猫吗？也可以，也可以。
It's very interesting that Taiwanese, when they think about metaverse, they don't think about it as a new world, but an additional layer to improve the current infrastructure. They want to actually incorporate it into the daily lives where the online world actually helps with the physical world. So their approach is very pragmatic, whereas I find that a lot of other metaverses, it's always targeted at the youth. So the activities is always about fun, more of a fantasy world where you can be anyone you want. You can do anything you want. And I guess that is the beauty of technology, where you can have the same technology but implement it in different ways. I think that Taiwan is a bit under the radar when we talk about tech, but I think that is changing. You can tell that people are trying to make a difference, and they do believe that Taiwan can actually lead the world. As a VC, where do you think is Taiwan's competitive advantage like?
I think first and foremost is talent supply. Many people just remember Taiwan for the hardware capability, our semiconductor and our amazing ability to contract develop and manufacture devices, optronic screens, LEDs, all kinds of things. But most people don't see the software element, which is actually innately built into all the products as well. All that is done here. Building capability, it's very rare today. when you're trying to build. I don't think other places in Asia actually have as much supply of talent in this space as Taiwan.
But why are there so little unicorns?
Oh, that's a question many have asked us, and we've asked ourselves multiple times as well. In short, I think it's liquidity. Unicorns are minted as a result of capital liquidity, right? We need a very strong and complete financial ecosystem to be able to support startups all the way up to being valued at being as a unicorn. The startup space in Taiwan has become very active only in the past probably 5 to 6 years.
Okay.
So we will need to take a bit of time to really grow this out into a more structured financial ecosystem that supports startups. And I think government has already done a lot. Now it's up to the private sectors to really pick up the slack and carry it forward.
Are you looking at any investments in the Web3 or Metaverse companies?
Metaverse is definitely a space we think is very interesting. We're seeing massive curiosity from Web2 brands and businesses trying to tap into this phenomenon, but not a lot has been built yet, I think, compared to DeFi and other sectors. Also, this is one of the most vibrant Mandarin-speaking markets that is crypto-friendly. There is that need and the desire for more content within the Mandarin-speaking communities, and I think Taiwan is great for doing that natively. Bringing existing IPs from the real world into the metaverse, taking originally digital content like music, like art, into the space where it's very deep tech and very Mandarin content and creative. I think that these are two places where Taiwan has a lot of opportunities.
I think what is fun about the Metaverse is that because the Metaverse is still being built and everybody is still experimenting in it, there is a big opportunity for the small players or the underdogs to see where they can capture the market. For a Metaverse to be successful, it's not just the Metaverse itself or the companies that are building the Metaverse, but also the picks and shovels business, the business associated around the Metaverse, the technology behind it, like Umi who's making inroads to better infrastructure.
可以吗？
可以。
好，那你可以看到蜜蜂在你的前面这个位置。
It's very realistic.
你可以用手跟它互动看看。
Umi is a technology startup. We have our corporate headquarters in Austin, Texas, and our R&D center is here in Taipei, Taiwan. We're a developer of augmented reality technology.
You mentioned that your R&D base is in Taiwan, but you are headquartered in the United States. Is there a reason for that?
Taiwan, as you know, it has such a big semiconductor industry. So Taiwan companies make the chips that go in all AR headsets. We are also the suppliers of components. The assembling manufacturers are mostly here too. When you're building hardware, it's really great to be close with completely US-based AR development companies, for example. They often have bottlenecks when they know that, okay, we've designed the product to this extent, now we have to send it to Taiwan for assembly so that they can get their prototype back. We don't have that issue. In fact, our engineers know the suppliers and the assembly manufacturers very well. Being on the same page, speaking the same language, they're in the same time zone. The US side, it's a really great place to be to reach strategic partners. Many of the potential investors and customers are based in the US, and it's also an easy way to reach the European market.
Why AR and not VR?
With VR, it's fully immersive and it has great implications for gaming and entertainment. But with AR, there are more practical applications. think smart manufacturing, where the worker can wear an AR headset and they can see virtual objects or instructions while they're working. There's also a great use case for e-commerce marketing, so users can try on clothes. I think there's also a great opportunity for really interesting life experiences. And I say that because I believe that in Web3 or in the Metaverse, one day people will have their own real world that is a blend of the virtual world with the physical world.
Umi will be part of this solution for us to actually enter the Metaverse.
We are hoping to develop the hardware that could facilitate that for sure. When people talk about what is the Metaverse, everyone has their own definition depending on what you think of it and what part of the ecosystem that you are a part of. For me, as someone that works in the field, it doesn't exist yet. I think we're a few years away, mostly because of hardware is a major challenge for sure.
这间呢是我们一些软体的工程师在做 eye tracking，
就是看它的侦测的状况，有没有抓到瞳孔的中心。
这是个 laser 系统，将来时候这个 laser beam 的控制就会看到你在视网膜上看到很清楚的影像。Suppose 你有2000度的近视眼镜，近视人，看到这个影像没有戴眼镜还是很清楚，因为我是控一个 laser 在你的 retina 上面。 这是我们独有的技术。
Wow. This is a market where there is HoloLens, Google Glass. How does Umi compare to them?
Our optics offers some unique advantages that other systems don't have. So for example, with our system, the user can see brightness that's much better compared to other systems. So they can use it indoors and also outdoors. And that offers different additional use cases. The other advantage is that our system offers different focal planes, which means that the user can see virtual images at different depths. That allows them to interact with the virtual objects up close. So for example, we work with some biotech researchers, and they say that with other systems, they're not able to really touch the virtual objects with their hands and move them around. So the difference really lies in the different systems.
那今天要给李博士看的是我们最新的眼镜型 prototype， 然后待会我们可以来 test 一下，跟你之前戴的头戴有没有什么不一样？可以跟我分享一下你现在看到什么东西？
我可以看到蛋白质
，zoom in 它，然后把它放大，在你寻找要找哪个部分要做 docking， 是清楚的吗？
是的，因为它可以一直放大，然后好像是我们就是可以近距离的看这个蛋白质的里面的结构。
跟上次的头戴式，你现在有没有感受上有什么不一样？
这一款的话，它是更轻，而且佩戴起来更舒服，而且似乎来讲操作起来更人性化。
好，那我帮你拿下。
那李博士，你在工作上有什么痛点？这有什么帮助呢？
像刚刚这样子操作的话，我们可以更精准的看到药物跟蛋白质的预测的接点，那来设计说一个真正有用的药物设计的结构，它可以加速任何种类药物的开发。
那可以缩短多少时间呢？
预期它实际上是可以缩短从几年变成几个月的时间的一个开发的时程这样。
A lot of companies in Taiwan is known to OEM their products.
Yes.
Is that what you're planning to do with Umi?
I was just talking to my co-founders about this. Why do Taiwan-based companies tend to be the OEMs and not the brands? I think there are sort of generalizations about the quality of products.
Do you think that people will look at a product made in Taiwan as inferior compared to something that is made, say, in the States?
It's a shame because we have the infrastructure, we have the talent. I am based out of the US. I do think people in Taiwan are very humble. They're not used to being the center of attention. So in technology, people tend to sort of downplay their abilities, or brands tend to be on the conservative side, whereas the US culture is completely the opposite, right? everyone thinks that they can be a unicorn and everyone feels that they can do something extraordinary. So while I don't think Taiwan could ever become like the US, I just think we, as a group of people, made a push to really have the confidence to put something out there, have a sense of ownership, you know, that we're in Taiwan and this is what we're putting out into the world. Please see us.
Taiwanese, they value their independence, their creativity, and their freedom. There is a lot of hope and idealism about building a future for the public good, which is very similar to the Web3 ideals and values. Even though they have always been known for semiconductors, but from what I've seen, Web3 and the Metaverse will bring new opportunities for the tech talent in Taiwan. They are creating new software, new deep tech innovations that combine hardware and software, even help a new breed of engineering talent to bring creativity into the mix. I think this could be something exciting for the young startup scene and to help Taiwan build capabilities for Web3.